As a writer, I am always looking for inspiration that might expand the range of what I find myself capable to express within my writing, so that I can hopefully reflect all of the complex impressions inside of my mind, which aren't so easily collected into statements. Where I find inspiration is in beauty. I learn something through my senses, and I want to share what I've learned. And I hope when I do so that it will help others to understand things better, or even to cause them to give me a response which will help me understand things better, and both of us see the world a little more broadly and kind. I find that while I can articulate some of the emotional reactions on my part that I have to witnessing something awesome, I've always struggled to describe what I'm seeing in a way that would put the image into someone else's mind. I've studied film, animation, photography, and illustrative art extensively over the years, trying to understand how to create a beautiful image. But I've always struggled to translate my very detailed visual imagination into something I'm actually capable of replicating and putting in front of someone else. Where I feel that I specialize instead is in finding things that are already beautiful and bringing those things to a new audience through a unique perspective. Which is easy to do when I'm talking about a consumer product like Infinity Nikki, which can be downloaded for free on PC, mobile devices, and modern consoles, and even carries the same save data between all the different places that you have it, which is what really drew me in. The game is designed to be accessible to as many people as humanly possible, as long as they like dress-up and adventure games. Now, I am somewhat confident that I can bring an emotional experience to an audience through my writing and even through my vocal performance. But when it comes to bringing you a visual, the best that I've ever been able to manage to communicate is through photography, which is a medium that is less so dedicated to creating a new image as it is to finding a new perspective on something that already exists. Photography is often underrated as an art form by people who have never tried to take a picture, I guess, but with smartphones putting powerful cameras into practically everyone's hands, the younger generations are now growing up with a much deeper appreciation for what goes into making a photo really work. Now, there is a level of perfectionism and technical retooling which can allow someone to really work an image to their liking, but I don't personally tend to approach photography with the mentality that I'm trying to get the most perfect version of the image. Instead, I'm trying to capture the emotion of the image as I feel it in that moment. Now, there is an amount of technicality involved in getting what I want, especially quickly, but it's not anything that's too hard to learn or which has really specific rules beyond feeling out whatever captures the emotions that you're trying to bring from the image. In real life, it can be a tremendous struggle to make an image look similarly inside of your lens to the way that it does inside of your eyes. But in a video game, this huge aspect of the photographic struggle is mostly removed, especially when you've got the ability to project artificial lighting onto your character model built into the game. Now, I think some artistically driven real-world photographers or professionals might lose some of the fun of what they do if they had to do it in a game like this, where they don't get to set up their own lights and everything. But a casual enthusiast like myself is happy that I can just set up the shots I want and worry about what's in frame and how I choose to frame it without worrying that I've got the wrong lenses or non-participant lighting. But that's not to say that you're completely in control of every aspect of what you photograph in this game. There is a built-in day and night cycle that changes your lighting, sometimes quickly, although activating photo mode will thankfully lock the sun and moon into their current places. NPCs and animals continue moving, and even when you pose Nikki, she will struggle to maintain certain poses and even blink, meaning that there's always at least a minor timing challenge involved in getting the shot that you really want. Although, so far, all the pictures I've taken have really just been the result of seeing a photo opportunity when I stumbled across it and hitting click until I got the picture. My favorite thing about photo mode is that you can not just rotate the camera, but also put in all these preset positions and poses which you can manipulate, which also change the focal depth of the camera. But my least favorite part is having to leave camera mode to reposition Nikki herself. And I'm not sure if anything can really be done about it because of how much extra stuff is being done to the image after you've gone into photo mode. I can think of ways that this feature could be expanded if it proves to be popular, and I hope that it is, and I expect it will be, because it plays pretty well into the core point of the game, which is dressing up Nikki in adorable outfits. One of the hardest parts for me about taking pictures in real life is that I'm always torn about putting myself into the pictures, especially when I'm taking a picture of something awesomely beautiful that greatly overwhelms my own presence within it. I know that I can find awesome pictures of these awesome places taken by awesome camera people, and I also know that because I can't really capture the scale of what those places made me feel in just my own low-level photographs, I know that a lot of those pictures that I take won't really mean that much to anyone I show them to unless they can see me in the picture myself, showing that I was there. It's not just that people who know me will connect more easily with an image that contains someone they recognize than they will with a normal photo of a place they've never been to or otherwise have their own more powerful memories of having been to, but it's also that even seeing a person who we don't know can ground an image by humanizing it, because we empathize more easily with a person than we do with an environment. We understand the environment better by seeing what a person looks like by comparison to it, seeing how a person interacts with that part of the world and where they find their place inside of that space. We see the emotions of the person, and we also sometimes feel the emotions of the camera person based on how they framed that person and the world that they inhabit into that photo. Because of these things, I want to be in my photos, especially to remind myself that I was there and what I was feeling by being there. But too often, some aspect that I want to forget about that experience involves my self-image. I don't want to remind myself of the parts I was trying to forget, about how I didn't get the chance to shave before I went out exploring that day, or wasn't wearing an outfit that really worked with the camera on whatever the backdrop is. So I usually end up taking pictures of my husband, who looks great, to me at least. The Nikki series of dress-up games have always been about exploring the escapist fantasy of expressing the full extent of your aesthetic sensibility without limitations of budget or personally reaching your own beauty standards. In this game, you just are Nikki. You have a perfect body for modeling adorable outfits, and not only access to an unending supply of heart-stoppingly gorgeous clothes pieces, but the ability to change every single one of them on the fly. In Infinity Nikki, instead of a pure dress-up sandbox that's just about the fantasy of wearing whatever you want, it's a game about matching the context of whatever you're doing in that moment to your outfit. Your outfits literally change in order to become a dog washer, a fisherwoman, a bubbly fairy, a magical fighting girl, anything else you have to be or want to be depending on the situation you're trying to create within the limitations of the game's world. In real life, even if I go to the effort of traveling somewhere beautiful, making myself beautiful, hiring a real photographer, scheduling a shoot, getting the perfect photo, I could only do photo shoots every few days at the most and carry but so many outfits. Infinity Nikki let me take all of these cute pictures inside of 20 minutes and barely even moving very far through the world, since every step of it has you stumbling onto something aesthetically awesome. As long as this game keeps updating, it will take a long time to exhaust the possibilities for putting together cute photos, and it's my favorite aspect of playing the game so far, except for one tragedy in that you can post directly to X but not to Blue Sky. I've got an account on Blue Sky, and I don't plan to make any other social media profiles outside of YouTube and Discord, so I've been having to personally screen cap all of my photos and post them onto Bisky, which is kind of a pain, and I'd really like to be able to do it directly, especially since I think that that website is way more friendly to the types of people that I expect to be the main audience for this game. I will probably make more videos about Infinity Nikki, especially if I can get accepted into their influencer program, which they opened applications on just the other day. If you have any more questions about how to take great photos in this game, or if you have taken some really cool photos and you want me to feature them in my next video about this game, please leave a comment on this video and send your submissions through Bisky to Bomber Girl Vera, which is me. I'm Vera Bradley, the Bomber Girl, and this has been Cozy Queer Gaming. I'm thinking about exploring camera modes in other cozy games like Caravan Sandwich, which updated with one a little while after my Game of the Year review. So if that kind of thing's interesting to you at all, let me know. Otherwise, I also started playing Fields of Mystria just before I got totally swallowed up by Infinity Nikki. But if you think I should go back to that game and give my thoughts about it later, let me know about that in the comments also. And thank you for watching. Keep cozy and cuddle on.